Well, hello there. Good morning, boys and girls. Hey, listen, I wanted to talk to you guys today about how Cambridge is going online, Cambridge One, because this is all new for everybody. And one of the things that's really difficult, one of the things I'm not doing a good job with, is explaining to you guys what it is you need to do to learn, and why it is you need to do those things. And so I thought I'd just hit on those real quick and kind of give you some context, maybe some direction, and maybe that'll help. We'll see. So look, we've got two options. Here's the deal. In the United States, it's around 80% of high school graduates going into college have to take a remedial math class. That means that when they go to college, they never learn the stuff you guys are learning right now. And now they have to pay a lot of money and waste a lot of time learning those things. And the series of remedial math classes, there are three. That takes a semester, and that takes a year and a half, 3 semesters. And the cost is equivalent to what a very nice used car would cost. So, it takes almost half as much time as you're going to spend in college to get these classes under your belt so that you can then take a class that actually counts towards your degree. So the class you need to take for your degree is most likely going to be a minimum of college algebra or calculus. To even take college algebra, you have to test into it, and if you fail to test into that class, then they make you take those background classes, and it's up to 3 of them. So that's a huge problem. That's not supposed to be happening. That's totally wrong. That's 80% of high school graduates. That means if you think, like, here's the deal. If you think, oh, that won't be me, that's going to be my friends, you're probably wrong, because you're probably average, just like almost everybody else. So that means most likely that's you. That's your future. And so that is a traditional math education that students get in the United States right now, and that's a failure. So you're lucky because you're in a Cambridge IGCSE class, and that is a college preparatory class, and it's better than any that I've run across. And historically, especially here at this school, we've had amazing success. I don't know if it's a majority, but it's at least a significant portion don't even have to take any college classes, because when they take the placement test, they test out of it. That's such a huge portion of the students that come through this program. And it's not because they got AP scores or anything like that. It's just because they know the math. They know how to learn math, they know how to read, they know how to write, and they also know how to problem solve with the math that they know. And combined, super, super powerful. So here's the difference, right? Here's the major difference. With Cambridge, you're given information and then you're asked to use that information to solve problems. You have to make sense of the information. You also have to make sense of the problem. In traditional American math education, the moment a student says, I don't get it, or we're going too fast, or I'm confused, the teacher drops whatever they're doing and just fixes the problem for the kid. I think that's totally inappropriate. You're capable of doing the problems that are before you. That doesn't mean that they're easy. They're definitely hard, but that's good. They're hard because you're learning. Learning is hard. If it's not hard, you're not learning. You're just being trained. If it's not hard, you're wasting your time. It's supposed to be confusing. Now, it's going to be harder for some people than it is for others. Some people, they just get into it and they don't really feel bad when they're confused. They just work through it and figure it out. Whereas other people spend a whole lot of time feeling bad for themselves. Like, they feel like they're dumb. They feel like they're going too slow, like they have no chance. They feel unsupported. All of that is just self-pity, and it does no good. So one of the key things that you're learning when you're learning math is you're learning how to navigate all of those unpleasant feelings that come up when you're faced with a challenge. So here's the takeaway. The question, when am I going to use this in my real life? Well, this is your real life. This is practice for your real life. If you can't handle working through some confusion with a math problem, how are you going to handle a problem that you're going to face as an adult? This is easy compared to adult life, but this is preparing you for that. So, here's what you got to do better. I think that A lot of you guys are rushing through the notes if you even read them at all. That's terrible. You've got to read them slowly and carefully. That is your information. You should be spending quite a bit of time reading through those notes. Then you watch the videos. Both times you're taking notes, which means you're writing down key information. You're writing down your things that you're beginning to understand, the predictions you have, the aha moments, oh, I get it now. You write those down. If you don't, you're going to lose them. And then you write down your questions. As you're going through, if you're confused by something, you have a question about something, you write that question down, you leave a lot of space. Because as you go through reading, as you go through watching videos, as we meet, you're going to answer those questions. And you go back and you write them down. Those also give you questions to bring to me when we meet. You see? That's what it's going to take. And that is no different now than it would be if we were in class. That would be the expectation. The only difference is there's not somebody like me telling you every 10 minutes how you should be engaging with math. There's nobody directing you. There's nobody finding people that are doing it right and highlighting that so everybody else can see what that looks like. And so that's the really probably the most difficult thing that we're facing right now. So look, here's the deal. I'm going to change some of how I do things. Instead of going over the homework with you, I'm going to ask you to tell me what you know. You're going to be teaching me. And that's how we're going to run class, and that's going to work better. That's going to be more similar to how we do it when we're in person. You're going to have to read those notes. I'm not going to try to set up some artificial way to make sure you read the notes. If you want to be successful, you can be successful, and you've got to go through those notes carefully. Or you've got the other path, and we already explained where that leads. It doesn't lead to anywhere good. And I've taught those college classes, or the remedial college classes. If you go through the regular programs, you're most likely going to end up having to take remedial college classes if you go to college. You don't have to go to college. You can be very successful without it. But this class is to get you ready for college, so I'm assuming you want to go. So if you go through the other route, you're most likely, 80% of students, that means the overwhelming majority, have to take a remedial class. So you can go that route, and it's going to be easy. You're probably going to get A's, but you're not going to learn anything. You're not going to learn enough. And what you do learn, you're not going to retain. Or you can learn how to learn now as a freshman, when you have a lot of support and the level of math is pretty low. I mean, the stuff we're doing right now with square roots, prime numbers, real numbers, that's all 6th grade. So this is within your reach. Yes, it's difficult, and yes, you're being challenged. But how you face this challenge is a big part of who you are going to be. Learning to face challenges, or just accepting that, failure, like I can't do this, it's impossible, and quitting, puts you on a path. You're young, you can always change that path. You can start off great and fall apart. See that happen. We see people start off very, very bad in life, and they turn it around. However, if you're already on the path, it's so much easier to stay on that path. And so, by facing these challenges correctly, the challenges that you're facing in school right now, by facing them correctly, you're putting yourself on a path towards becoming the kind of person that you really do want to be. We gave that questionnaire at the beginning. Not a single person was saying, oh yeah, I admire people who give up. I admire people who don't fight through difficulties. I admire people that blame everybody else. Not a single one of you said that you felt that way. You all felt the other way. You looked up to people who fought through difficulty. You looked up to people who took responsibility for themselves. You looked up to people who were responsible and who were hardworking, who faced challenges. So now you are in a position where you get to choose which one you want to be. So read the notes carefully, go through them, understand them. Take notes yourself, the things you don't understand. If there is something you don't understand, you have to write a very specific question. If you just write, I don't get it, that's not a question, that's a complaint. So that won't get it. That's the waste of time. The moment you get those words in your head, you get rid of them. You chastise yourself. You say, don't say that, don't think that. Get rid of that nonsense. That is just a hurdle, right? And nobody's going to help you. Nobody's going to help you with that. I'm not going to help you, and nobody at your house can probably help you. Nobody can help you with that. Even if they wanted to, it won't help you. It might make you feel better in the moment, but you're not going to learn. So, go through the notes carefully. Watch the videos carefully. Take notes, write questions. Then you try the homework. And when you're stuck, When you're stuck, you go back and you look at your notes first. Then you go back and look at the video. Then you read the notes that I provided for you. You don't just say, oh, I don't get it. Because I don't get it, never will get it. So you have to take ownership for your learning. Nobody can learn for you. Learning math is kind of like learning to play an instrument or ride a bike. I can ride a bike, I can play an instrument. You can watch me do both as much as you want. I can tell you everything I know about either of those activities, and then if I gave you a bike and you'd never ridden one before, you'd just fall off. And if I gave you a guitar and I had taught you everything I know, and I had shown you, I'd demonstrated, I'd given you videos, notes, everything, and I give you a guitar, you can't play it. It's no different with math. This is something you do. It comes from what you think. And what you think is hard. It's hard to think. Things seem so much easier in class when the teacher's leading you because the teacher's doing all of the thinking and you're just following. That is not the right way to go about it. That's not how I do it. Maybe I'm wrong, but there's a lot of success that's come through this. Tons of success that's come through this program because you are fully capable of figuring these things out. Yes, it's difficult. My job is to set things up for you to learn, set things up for you with problems to solve, and to support you in doing it, making sure you have access to all the information you need, and then the encouragement to do so, and the direction and the idea of how to do it. And what I mean by how to do it isn't how to answer the question, but how to problem solve, how to combine your resources and use the things that are accessible to you. That's what I'm doing right here. That's what I'm trying to do right here. Trying to get you focused. So no more complaining. I don't get it. It's going too fast. All this stuff. Those are just complaints. I don't want to hear them. They don't do any good. It's fine to vent, but if you really want to make progress, a complaint's going to do you no good whatsoever. It's a waste of time. We're not going to do that. We don't have much time. We're going very, very slow. The lesson we did yesterday, Monday and Tuesday, that lesson would have been on the second Monday of the school year. So the first full week of instruction, that's where we would have started with square roots, the second part that day. Here we are halfway through the fourth week of school. We are going extremely slow, but we're going to have to pick it up. So last thing, if this style isn't working for you, you can't get caught up. You can point fingers, I can point fingers, it doesn't matter. I'm not actually going to point fingers because I don't blame you. I don't think at the age of 13, 14, 15, I don't think I could do what you're being asked to do. That's why this is a good opportunity. You get a chance to come out so much farther ahead, so much further ahead than anybody before you, because no students before you have faced this problem. Okay? So it's a good opportunity for you to face those things. I don't know if I could have done it, even if I had everything at my disposal when I was your age. So I get it. I get why it's tough. If it's not working out for you, then you do have the option of switching. I would rather see you stay. I don't want to see students on the path that leads to 80% of high school graduates having to take a remedial math class in college. I don't want to see anybody on that path. I want to see everybody here. And I believe that everybody can do this. And so the thing that is required for anybody to be able to do this are the things I described. You are responsible for your learning. My job is to give you things to learn, set up things for you to practice and to work through, and to provide you the support and guidance that you need. My job is not to tell you step by step, because that's not what learning is. That's kind of like trying to tell you how to ride a bike. So, I know this has been kind of long. I hope it didn't sound like too much of a rant. All I want is for you to be successful. And I haven't done a good job explaining to you what is your role in this success. Why it's so difficult to do this. It's the transition. You are on that path where only 20% are successful. And now you're on a path where 100% of people are going to be successful. So we're going from the vast majority of you heading towards something that's not a good outcome, towards everybody instantaneously on a path where you are going to succeed and be a highly successful, highly engaged, very confident student. That transition's tough. You have to change. Education should change you, should make you a better person. Change is hard. So, anyway, read your notes, watch the videos, take good notes, write questions. When you're stuck or confused, you go back, you read your notes, you watch the video, then you read the text that I sent you, you read the book, or something like that. That's the order. That's what you got to do. So no more of getting confused, throwing your hands up, I quit. You have to be patient with yourself. You have to be able to handle a little bit of frustration. You can't be, as an adult, you can't come through with the same ability to handle frustration that you have right now. And the only way you're going to get better is if you focus on it. You're like, oh my gosh, I am feeling frustrated right now. It's okay. What do I need to do? I need to slow down. I need to go back and look at my notes. I need to think about this. What do I do after that? I go back and watch the video. What do I do after that? I go back and I reread the notes the teacher gave me. And if I still can't get it, I can phone a friend. I can text them. I can email the teacher. But you better have a question. I don't get it, or how do you do number 7 is the wrong question. You have to ask a good question. I'm confused about number 7 because I thought this and I got stuck here. What did I mess up? What do I have confused? That would be a good question. So, we need to work on those. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to change my focus quite a bit to be working on that. And so my fault is I have allowed you guys to focus too much on answer getting. And, I mean, in person we wouldn't be doing that. There's no reason we should be doing that now. That's not the right way to go about it. So, anyway, I'll shut up now. I hope that this has been helpful. I hope it gives you some redirection. And we'll talk soon. Have a good day.